What's up, guys? It's DeAnna Lorraine, and you're on Make Love Great Again. I will be back in just a moment. We're in the middle of a romance apocalypse. There are more single adults than ever before. Marriage is on the decline. The birth rate is at the lowest point in history. People are not connecting and forming real relationships. For the first time in human history, the very concepts of marriage and romance, God, the family, gender, and even our national anthem are under attack. Our American values have been slowly deteriorating and replaced with liberal, progressive values. We're in the middle of not only the romance apocalypse, but a war on our very souls. Speaking the truth is called hate speech. Patriotism is now called racism. Believing in God makes you a bigot. The current state of America is directly intertwined with the current state of our relationships. We are actively enslaving ourselves into a loveless, joyless, genderless future. Men and women of common sense and a moral compass need to wake up to the destructive madness that is being thrust upon us in the name of progressiveness and political correctness, and look ahead to where this ideology and agenda are ultimately taking us. We can make love great again. We can make America great again. But we need to remember who we are. We need to remember the spirit and the values that once made this country and our relationships so great.
This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, and we will make America great again.
Woohoo! And with that, let's make America great again, and let's make love great again. Hey everyone, what's going on? It is DeAnna Lorraine, and you are on Make Love Great Again. I am here with a very special shirt right now. Just a little shout out, because I believe that we are going to have a Trump 2020 win. What do you all think? You think we're on the right track? I think so. And by the way, special shout out to the person who gave me this shirt. Somebody gave me this shirt. You know who you are, and I do appreciate it. It's a very cute shirt, and it's exciting to wear because we know, and anyone who's been watching knows, where this is probably going to be headed in the next few years. And I think that F the blue wave, supposedly, this is going to be a red tsunami. Woo! Hey everyone, let me just check into the Periscope and make sure everything is looking great before we continue. Okay, let's see here. Periscope, let's go Periscope. Time to get moving. How's everything looking? Everything sound okay? Look okay? On your end? Okay, we've got Periscope working. Perfect. Hearts to you, hearts to you. Howdy, everyone. We've got David Swift in the house. We've got George Cohen, Spanker, Fleckus. No, Fleckus didn't buy me this shirt. But, hey, guys. No, but he did give me a different shirt, though. He gave me a Fleckus shirt. So maybe I'll wear that one in the future, too. I told him I'll wear it next time he's going to be on my show. Yeah. Man, it is hot in here. So we've got some historic news. Hold on one second. Let me just adjust the lighting a little bit because it's either too bright or it's not bright enough. I can't quite tell. Let's see. Okay, that's a little better. Now it's not beating in my eyes. By the way, we are going to start having people call into the show and ask me questions. And these questions could be related to relationships, politics, dating, whatever. But you know, people always can ask me questions during the show, during the live stream. But if you would rather actually be on speakerphone and call in and have your voice be heard, you can do that too. And I'll give you guys the number for that. So if you want to, you can do that. Some people like to be having their voice heard, some people don't. So either way, that number is 866-922-1188. That is 866-922-1188, okay? And that is the number to call in if you want to actually call in and ask your questions while I'm streaming. So anyways, yeah, I love my president. I've added you, but you never did add me. Add me on what? What did you add me on? Tell me, because I get a lot of ads every day, and I don't always see everyone's friend requests. Sometimes I just add, but I don't necessarily add back because I just don't see it. So tell me what you added and what your name is, and I will add you back. What's up, DJ? We've got Glitch Mod in the house. We've got JJ20181 and Spanker and Jeff Charles. Cool, lots of people in the house. All right, we're going to get on to it because we've got a great news day, I think. Let's talk about North Korea, shall we? Oh, this makes me so happy. I already, you know, anyone who's been following Q for a while, and by the way, I've got another great Q shirt that I'm going to wear next time, but anyone who's been following Q for a while, you know, you guys know that this summit of North Korea was probably going to be already, you know, we knew that what was going to happen. We knew the result. There was going to be peace in North Korea, and we've been knowing this for months. So it's not necessarily news, but we were still at the edge of our seats because it was, you know, the negative news was putting spins on it every day and causing chaos and wreaking havoc and saying this might not happen. And there was a good chance that we were thinking, is it possible that this could all just be a big setup and be a huge embarrassment to Trump? But luckily, it wasn't, and it looks like Trump is coming out on top, as we suspected. This is just 4D chess, right? And it's exciting. It's exciting news. Everyone is happy about this news, except for, of course, CNN and MSNBC, because they are the deep state. But I'm excited about it because this is a huge win. I mean, what other president has ever done this, has ever actually created a peace, a denuclearization in North Korea? People have wanted to, people have talked about it for decades now, and no one has been able to do that, except for our master chess player, Mr. President Trump. The leftists hate America. Yes, they do. End up hearing phone noises and vibrations. Yes, the leftists do hate America, and we're going to actually go through some of these clips together because I was appalled. I could not believe, I don't know if any of you guys did this, but I did it just for fun. I was watching, I was flipping back and forth between Fox News and CNN, and I could not believe that when you go to CNN, it was basically saying, nothing to see here, nothing's happening here, there's nothing going on here, move along. They were acting like there was literally nothing to see there. And the next day, that after this historic move, they go and start talking about a tweet from Kellyanne Conway's husband. They started talking about random tweets from months ago just to stir up some kind of news content to derail the excitement and hype around what President Trump did. It was astonishing. I mean, I was going to say, how can they possibly put the negative spin on it? And they do always find a way to do that. So I don't know if you guys watched it. To me, it was insane. Yes, those who falsely accuse our president are fooled. Well, yes, they were analyzing every physical move that Trump made, and it was annoying. It was like, oh, he's walking to the right. He's walking to the left. Oh, no. He's looking like he's putting his hand on Kim Jong-un's back. That's a dominating move. It's insane. They won't ever let go. And anyone who watches CNN at this point is an idiot. I'm sorry, but they are. Leftists hate being wrong and called out more than that. They won't denuke unless Trump convinces them. I suppose I'll accept it. Why won't they denuke? And what didn't they do? I couldn't watch. Yeah, Kim Jong-un has gone back on his promises many times. Trump hasn't done anything yet. Well, it looks like it is going this way. Yeah, they had nothing to say. It was pretty funny. I think that we will denuke as long. Well, like I said, I don't know. Anyone who follows QAnon, I don't believe he's a LARP. I do believe that he means what he says. But anyone who follows him should know that this agreement was already created months and months ago. The strings were cut. The people that were really actually controlling Kim Jong-un, it wasn't really Kim Jong-un who was in power. There were, basically the deep state was controlling Kim Jong-un. And now that those strings have been cut, supposedly, this is why Kim Jong-un has now been seen celebrating and going out on the town, and why he feels like he is now free and making this move. He wants peace, apparently. He does not want his country to be run like this. And again, this is all just, this may be wishful thinking, but this is what QAnon has seemed to be confirming over and over again. Wiener is the Democratic Party. Yes. Well, Democratic Party, deep state, all of that's the same. By the way, you guys know I'm broadcasting from the New Right Network. New Right Network. Make sure that you do add me on Twitter at DeAnna Lorraine 7 and add New Right Network at New Right Network. So let's just look real quick and see what CNN had to say about this. Let's go over to the Cancer News Network real quick, and we can watch this Diary of the Mouth together. And especially, it's funny reading the comments where people say, oh my God, Trump didn't do anything. Okay. Let's see what they have to say here.
And President Moon greeting each other pretty warmly at the DMZ at Panmunjom.
Just a quick reminder for people what was said here. President Trump said when asked moments ago, how do you feel? He said, I feel great. This is an honor for me to be here, and we will have a terrific relationship going forward. Kim Jong-un was gracious and said there were a lot of obstacles on the way here, but we overcame all of them. The right thing to say at the right time. Yes?
Exactly.
And this, of course, the historic moment. Jim Clapper, former director of national intelligence, has been with the North Koreans, has negotiated with them. He says thought that he would never see this moment. So what was Trump able to do that Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush before him could not do?
Well, I think, Chris, this had more to do with the North Koreans than anything
so
we did.
Here comes the discounting and the negating.
The North Koreans achieved whatever it is they thought they needed to achieve in the way of a nuclear deterrent, so that they could do this.
It's just so coincidental that they happened to do this with President Trump in office.
Which has always been the case in the past, where they've been the inferior, we've been the superior. They have reached a point, whatever it is, that they have confidence in their nuclear capability as a deterrent.
So they always love to find a way to discredit him, because it just so happened to be that North Koreans decided to suddenly change as soon as President Trump got into office, right? Because that is just so realistic. Now, another touching thing was Dennis Rodman going on CNN. I wish that he had gone on Fox News personally, but that's okay. For whatever reason, he chose CNN. And it was so sad to me. I never really understood Dennis Rodman's heart. I always thought he was kind of an ass. But come to find out, in this very tearful statement on CNN, it was actually a beautiful, heart-wrenching, heartwarming conversation that he had, and I was very impressed with him. I didn't realize he was that deep of a person, and I feel bad for thinking otherwise. I mean, time will tell, obviously, with all these people coming out, but to me, it was very heartwarming, and it said a lot about, I thought, his faith in President Trump. And again, more people, especially more black people, coming off and speaking out openly against the plantation and toward support of Donald Trump. I think that says a lot, and I think that is an exciting thing for conservatives and for what it means for this hopeful red tsunami that will be coming up. So let's take a look and watch this real quick together. We may not watch the whole thing because it's kind of long, but the first few minutes, it's really beautiful. You guys watched it, I take it? Let's just jump over to the comments real quick. Dennis is confrontational. That's why he chose CNN to put it in their face. Ah, that makes sense. I like it. The Cancer News Network. Kim about to do Bruce Lee moves on Trump if he gets closer. Yeah, I'm curious about this whole Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump interaction that's going on. I like to stand back and observe, and I hope it's not too soon to celebrate, but it is interesting. And again, the Cancer News Network completely spun that situation too, with Kim getting the person that she wanted pardoned. Trump pardoned her, but they love to put their negative spin on it. What got me about Rodman was the fact that he tried to reach out to Obama about it and he got blown off. Yes, that was great. We're going to watch that. That's good news for sure. You remind me of my high school teacher, but prettier. Okay, I always hope whenever people say, you remind me of someone, I always want to say, well, is she cute? I mean, she better be cute. Kardashian. I've got my carrot juice, by the way. I'm on a new health kick. I am 2 weeks into my new health makeover, going to the gym regularly, drinking carrot juice and shakes every morning, and taking my health into high gear, and it's been beautiful. I've gotten a lot more energy, and I love it. 100% pure carrot juice is amazing. Okay, let's go watch Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman together. Carrot Tashian. That's funny. It was so sad. It was beautiful, though. He was like so excited. I didn't know this about Dennis Rodman.
When we spoke several years ago, did you think this moment would ever come?
I can't tell if this is someone calling in. Okay, let's watch this. And I love the beginning of this. It's like, in your face, Chris Como.
Well, you teed up the relevance of Dennis Rodman. We have him joining us on the show. He made his way to Singapore. There he is right now. Good to see you again, my friend. Dennis, can you hear me?
I'm too tired. How you doing, guys?
It's good. Do you have what does your hat say?
What's my hat say?
Oh, good. Now I can see it.
Let's
so you
make
have
America great again.
All right.
You got it right there? You got it?
I got it. Thank you.
That's
So
the best.
you made your way to Singapore.
Look at
How
his face.
important.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is classic. We just got to look at it one more time because it makes me really happy.
How you doing, guys?
Look at his face right here. He is so upset, Chris Cuomo. Like, don't you dare come on our station with a Make America Great Again hat. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's good. Do you have what does your hat say?
What does your hat say? Oh, I love it.
What's my hat say?
Oh, good. Now I can see it.
Let's
so you
make
have
America great again.
All right.
You got it right there? You got it?
I got it. Thank you. So
Thanks,
you made
Dennis.
your way to Singapore.
Boom.
How important is this to you? You talked a lot about the prospects for peace when we spoke several years ago. Did you think this moment would ever come?
Well, in my heart and soul, when I first went to North Korea, I was very honored to even be selected to go there. And once I went to North Korea, I was didn't really understand what the old situation was as far as being over there. And when I first met Kim Jong-un, I was more like, I didn't know what to expect. You know, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what he represented. I didn't know if he was someone important. But I knew something was going on. But once I got familiar with the culture and the situation over there, I got really used to being there. I felt like I was at home.
Now, you know both men. You've spent time with the North Korean leader. You've spent time with Donald Trump. How do you think the two men size up in terms of how they might get along?
Well, I think the fact that Donald Trump would understand the fact that the people of North Korea have a heart, they have soul,
Yeah.
charisma, and they love each other. And I think the fact that Kim Jong-un and his family understands that. I think that President Trump should understand the fact that the reason why the Marshal of North Korea respects Dennis Rodman, the fact that he trusts me. And I gave him something for his birthday. And I thought I couldn't pull this off. And I said to him on his the day before his birthday, I said, I'm going to give you a present. And he said, what is that? I said, I'm going to bring a basketball team, professional basketball team to you. He said, can you do that? I said, yes, I can. Even though I knew I couldn't do it, I said, if I fail now, it's going to be a problem. So basically, I got a lot of people together. I got Popcorn here, help me out, my sponsor. Thanks to those guys. And it happened, and Kim Jong-un came to me and said, Dennis, you know what? This is the first time someone's ever kept their word to me and my country. And I looked at him, I always got emotional, but I said, wait a minute, hold on.
That's so nice.
He said, someone's never kept their word to you and your country? He said, yes, this is the first time someone's ever suggested that. And I came through, and I think that he really appreciated that, the fact that he's not normally hearing someone that's trustworthy. And I think that country is normally hearing people that's always lying, deceitful, and not trustworthy. And I think that if Trump goes in there with a great heart, with his heart on the table, and let Kim Jong-un see him, really emotional as far as like speaking to him. It ain't got to be about war. It ain't got to be about hatred or what happened in the future or in the past. The past. We'll move on to the future. And I've told people about Kim Jong-un.
Look at how upset Chris Cuomo is to hear this.
He's trying to progress his country.
He's so
and
upset.
Donald Trump is going to do a great job is try to reach out and make sure that our hands, Americans, our hands are always open, because as Americans, we have let so many people around the world join us to be happy in one country. That's the United States. And now we have really put ourselves on a line to reach out to North Korea. And they've been so gracious to me, my family, and the United States. So let's make this happen. If Trump could pull this off, more power to him.
Dennis, did Kim reach out to you, or any of his people reach out to you? The president's people, anybody reach out to you for insight into the other side?
I'm trying to find where he says...
that I should be involved with this whole politics stuff. I just want to be involved with the sports aspect. And if they can use me in that direction, maybe I can have some type of common sense to shine some light on what's really going on in North Korea. If Trump want to come ask me about certain things, he'll probably figure it out today, and I hope he does. But if he want to ask me,
trying to figure out the part where he says that Obama rejected him.
You think there's any chance that
happen? And Donald Trump should take a lot of credit for this, because he went out the box and made this happen.
Yep.
So anyway, so I want to say one more thing before I leave. Can I say one more thing?
You can say whatever you want.
That was when you guys
have a smile.
Went on a tirade.
For the deaths and hardship of a lot of people, how can you be sure he...
God, they're so
he
skeptical.
thanks you a lot. And that means a lot.
And negative.
Basketball? Yes, you understand. So much more bigger than what I thought. And I felt the fact that, just listen to the people, seeing the kids, seeing the people there. And today is a great day for everybody. Singapore, Tokyo, China, everything. It's a great day.
It is a great day. This is a historic day.
I'm so happy.
You were saying to me years ago that you thought this would happen. And I want to let you be ready for me to ask you another question. I know you're very emotional about this.
Go ahead.
This is what I want to know. I want to know. Well, you're an emotional guy. You feel very deeply.
Oh, wow. So
many years ago that you thought this would happen.
And today is a great day for...
God.
But I kept my head up high, brother. I knew everything. And I believed in North Korea.
I remember you saying it. I remember you saying it. Let me ask you something. Does Kim understand English, Dennis?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. When I said those things, when I said those damn things, when I went back home, I got so many death threats. I got so many death threats when I was sitting there protecting everything. And I believed in North Korea. No. And when I went home, I couldn't even go home. I'm trustworthy to this country. Do what I have to do to listen. 3 things. If you go back to tell the President of the United States these 3 things, and I would be willing to talk to him. And it's a true story, and I got my people here that was there that heard the conversation. He said things like, if they can move the ships back from South Korea, I would do what I have to do to listen. If you can move certain things or do certain things, I will listen. My ears will be open. And I tried to do that to Obama. And Obama didn't even give me the time of day. I asked him,
snap.
I said, I have something to say from North Korea. He just brushed me off. But that didn't deter me. I still kept going back. I kept going back. I kept going back. I showed my loyalty and my trustworthiness.
That expression on Chris Cuomo's face is absolutely priceless, I think. Like, don't you dare talk about our Messiah, Obama. Right? It's so priceless. Shove it in his kisser den. Rodman is still a nut. Maybe, but you gotta admit, even whether he's a nut or not, that's a pretty coherent interview, actually. And he's speaking the truth. He's saying facts. And he's sharing his heart, and I think that he sounds pretty intelligent. And he's definitely passionate about what's going on, and he definitely has played a role in this. And he tried to speak about it to Obama and make it a priority or even a concern to him, and Obama didn't even give him the time of day. So to me, that says a lot about what we already know, which is the character of Obama versus the character of Trump. Trump is actually willing to listen to people and hear people out as if they're human beings and not just, his constituents. News reporter looking at him like, why am I interviewing this guy? He's looking at him like, oh my God, you're going to get all of us in deep shit. Liberals are mental. Yes, they are. Well, technically, that's true. Rodman is unfiltered and passionate, and he's always been that way. Got to give him credit. He had the balls to go on there. Yeah, he did have the balls to go on there, and that's pretty cool. And then what I also like about it is that he didn't just choose the safe zone would have been Fox News, right? Or something more conservative. But he went the more risky route, which is CNN. It's more confrontational. But I think it's fantastic. He clearly wore the hat to make a point and shove it in their face. And I just love the way that the way that CNN always finds a way to spin everything to the negative. It's amazing to me, and it's sick. It's deranged. But this is called Trump derangement syndrome, and it's a propaganda arm. That's all CNN is. It's just another propaganda arm that's no different, controlled by the CIA. So it's Dennis's fault if they get in trouble. He ain't freaking working for a crooked news network. Yeah, well, I think that do you think that at this point more people are starting to turn to conservative? Do you think that more people are starting to even see a little bit of Trump's real heart, or no? Does anyone know any Democrats that have started to flip, that are getting completely sick of the fake news and the cancerous news network, and they're getting tired of just all the negative spin, and they're finally starting to see him for who he is? Does anyone know? I've met a few people, but for me it's still pretty polarized over here in LA. A bit more, yeah. Yes, DeAnna, they see it. A lot of people just won't speak out about it yet. It's crazy, right? It is really crazy. Show more cleavage. I don't think so. I'm not going to show more cleavage because I just like the shirt. Make America even greater. And I think the shirt speaks for itself. And I don't need to have cleavage. I'm sorry, whoever asked that question. I think the left gets more exposure, but that by no means means that they have the faith in their cause or numbers. Yeah. Well, let's move on to our next story. And if you notice in the comments too, it's funny. When you look at the CNN comments, people are saying, yes, Dennis Rodman for the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, Dennis Rodman has pulled all of this off. Come on, guys. Let's give Trump a little bit of credit. I've seen enough comments saying, I wasn't even a Trump fan and I don't like Trump, but he does deserve credit for this one. Let's be real. Okay, onwards and upwards. So let's talk about another lovely CNN article that just came through today that just sums up my point about CNN being just nothing but a propaganda arm.
CNN likes to tell people how they should parent. Do you guys want to take advice from CNN on how to parent? Let's see what they have to say about parenting. CNN says, according to their article this morning, why the old way of parenting no longer works. Let's see what CNN has to say about parenting. Let's hear it. All right, CNN, the old way of parenting doesn't work. Okay, so since apparently the old way of parenting was more authoritarian and really about how to respect your mother and your father, like children should do, CNN's vision of parenting says every couple of years a book or article arrives diagnosing parents with catastrophic spinelessness. The power pyramid has been inverted, they warn, and the children are in and therefore out of control. So let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. And then, as predicted, comes the self-scrutiny. While my husband and I are pretty good about standing by a no, we allow for some conversation and negotiation on our way there. Are we ceding too much ground? Also, when it comes to our daily eating and sleeping routine, we learn towards flexibility and away from structure. While more rigidity might establish more parental authority, it would also generate more insanity as we'd all struggle to uphold the systems we put in place. How bad is it to allow life and its attendant feelings and chaos to get in the way occasionally? Well, the funny thing is that most millennial parents are not occasionally letting chaos in the way. It's a daily thing. According to Kathleen Lewis, author of the book, The Good News About Bad Behavior. Oh, wonderful. So you're going to start normalizing bad, bratty, entitled behavior, aren't you? Let's see, CNN. What are you approving of? It's time to let go of these concerns. The command and control, the I'm in charge, it doesn't work, she said. Oh, I would love to see a picture of your children. I bet they've got blue hair and they're 500 pounds and they're marching along the street in the protests. Say goodbye to Father Knows Best. Oh, wonderful. I had a feeling this would be somehow ejecting the father from the family and his role. Let's read on. Lewis wrote her book in response to what she sees as a crisis of self-regulation among kids today. This is the reason why nearly half of today's children will develop a mood disorder or substance abuse problem by age 18. Then she goes on to talk about the 4 forces behind this, blah, blah, blah. And then she talks about parents. While she doesn't blame us, many parents would benefit from rethinking our approach to discipline. Are you kidding me? One of the first steps, she explains, is separating our ideas of parental authority from the days of Father Knows Best. Wow. While his authoritarian approach worked in the past, it's ineffective for today's generation of young ones who are far more comfortable with collaboration, aka who are far more comfortable being little brats and overruling their parents and any kind of authority figure so that they can be the one who are in control. They are no longer these straight lines of authority. The boss is no longer in charge of the dad is no longer in charge of the mom, and the mom is no longer in charge of the kids. They're growing up in a culture of democracy and equality, and they feel that. Oh, I'm sorry, kids actually don't know that unless they are taught that, you crazy lunatics. She explained, referring to the changes in the workplace, homes, and schools that have led to more decision-making by committee. She explained that while authoritarian parenting did often help children do better at school and stay out of trouble, yes, that's what's called parenting, you crazy people. It often left them emotionally scarred. This was the reason that many parents in the 1980s who were raised by authoritarian moms and dads, makes it sound like a Hitler dictator, took the opposite approach and moved to a more permissive parenting style. Okay. But the pendulum swung too far. This is where the cult of self-esteem came from and the trophies for everyone. Today's parents, she explained, are looking to foster a close, connected, nurturing relationship and less authoritarian. So, good old CNN telling us how to parent our own children better than we could do ourselves. That's what I love about CNN. We think, we should do it ourselves. And they say, no, we actually know a better way to parent your own children. Listen to us. So, You know, I would like to know if the person who wrote this and talks about the dangers of authoritarian parents, I wonder if their child is doing things like this. Oh, the Tide Pod Challenge.
What's going on, guys? Mr. Crumb here. And today, guys, we got extra Tide Pod.
Yeah, great.
It's not going to be the fake one.
Okay, I think that we have a caller on the line. Let's see. Hi there. Welcome to Make Love Great Again. This is DeAnna Lorraine. You're on the line. Do you have a question?
Yes, we do. There's three of us. How are you?
Three of you. Okay. Hi. How's it going?
And Doug is watching you at the same time.
Okay.
So, ask you.
You can.
You hear me?
Yes, you can ask whatever you want, as long as it's not crazily inappropriate.
No, it's not. With respect to North Korea,
Yes.
What's your opinion of the motivation
My motivation. What do I think that Kim Jong-un's motivation?
is?
Kim Jong-un's.
Yes.
I believe that I've been following this for a while, and I believe that they have struck some sort of a deal with him and Donald Trump. I believe that what we see on the outside is not necessarily what's actually going on behind the scenes with Kim Jong-un. And I think that he's been held captive actually for a while. I don't think that he has been in control as the news wants us to think that he is. And I think that there's some sort of thing, there are things that Donald Trump is giving him or is helping him with behind the scenes. And I'm pretty sure that that's where this deal is coming from. I mean, clearly he's going to get something out of it. That's for sure. We have yet to see exactly what that is. But I do think that Trump is going to help him in some way. And it's going to help better his country and give him actually more freedom.
So maybe I've seen too many movies, but I would think since he had his uncle, was it, assassinated, you know, those chemicals by the women in the airport.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I don't know, is this crazy talk that maybe there's some kind of a, you know, different kind of reason to meet? Do you know where I'm going with this conversation?
Yeah, someone's pulling the puppet strings.
No, just to hurt Donald Trump physically, you know, with some kind of a chemical or something in a meeting that no one would suspect. But maybe I've seen too many movies. I don't know.
I think I was going down the conspiracy theory route. But, you know, no, I mean, that's a possibility too. But I don't think so, actually. I've seen, I don't know if you've been following, you know, things like QAnon or people like that. But there's a lot of people that say that they predict that there's actually something going on behind the scenes that's that has, you know, that's going to be benefiting Kim Jong-un. And this is why he was able to strike a deal with Trump, but not in previous administrations.
Well, thank you. Two more guys here real quick. We've got a lot of calls.
Absolutely, guys. Is there another question?
Be profound and sophisticated. Are you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready.
What do you think the biggest challenges today of people entering the online dating space? Like, what do you think is the biggest frustration and challenge that the average user faces these days?
The online dating phase, the biggest challenges that people are facing with online dating these days is it's too much. You know, guys are putting so much effort into their profiles and into sending the perfect messages. And I've seen it too. There's a lot of guys that are actually decent or good-looking guys that are doing this, sending out 100 emails a week and getting like 2 responses. So there is a female flakiness problem, absolutely, that people, you know, women really need to understand, because women are very, very hard to respond to. And then actually getting them to meet up for a date without flaking is also a huge problem. The flakiness, you know, that return. So people are just completely non-committal. They treat the online dater as just, you know, some random person in the ethosphere and not an actual human being on the other end of the line. So I would definitely say the very, very low response rate and the very high flake rate before the date. Those are the biggest problems that people are seeing. And then I would say one more is they are starting to censor conservatives on online dating sites, and it's becoming harder for conservatives actually to date. You know, pictures with guns in it or military pictures are starting to get banned. You know, even yeah, and actually they're starting to post signs. You know, you can put a pin or a button that says that, you know, you are pro Planned Parenthood or pro women's rights. So then if you don't have that badge as a man, you obviously, you know, a lot of women aren't going to choose you because it's bias, and they're going to look at you like you're some right-wing conservative. And, you know, there's different reasons why you may not be for Planned Parenthood. And that's going on in OkCupid, and I know some other online dating sites are doing things like that. That's really alienated conservative online dating.
Wow.
Yeah. So we should create a site for conservative online dating.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So
So,
underserved. That's true. And our last question from Miguel. Miguel. Oh, wow. What was your question? Yeah, well, I want to ask the same question, but what's the biggest challenge for women on online dating?
women, I would say online dating, they get a lot of just sexual messages, penis pics, and guys who aren't serious. And it's very similar. You know, we will send messages out and we get a low response rate, or guys that are not taking it to the next level. Women want to be asked out pretty quickly when they're online dating. They don't want to go back and forth 100 different messages. We just want to know if there's chemistry or not, and we won't know that until there's the date. So guys need to really, you know, step up and, I believe, you know, ask a girl out within a couple messages and then make a date within the week and get on with it, you know. And too many guys are just sitting on their butts and not doing anything, and, you know, so the flakiness does go both ways.
Great.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps.
Yes, it did so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling into the show, boys.
Hey, thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, and you're free to call into the show too. If anyone wants to call in, their phone was obviously very scratchy and having some issues. But if you want to call into the show at any point, it's 866-922-1188. That's 866-922-1188. And, of course, you can also ask your questions online if you're a little bit shy in the chat room. Okay, let's go back to parenting. So basically what we're talking about here is this sick culture. And I think it's hilarious that, well, not hilarious, it's scary, but it's hilarious and scary that CNN just loves to promote this. Not only CNN, but we see it on Huffington Post, and we see it on BuzzFeed, and we see it on MSNBC. They're constantly promoting this kind of parenting where they're trying to remove the father from the parents, from the family. And like this was like couldn't be more blatant, right? They're just saying, gone are the days of father knows best. I mean, what a way to completely emasculate men and castrate fathers from having any power in their own families, for God's sakes. Sorry, but men should have power, and men should be in control of their own families. The whole reason why our society is going to shit, and why little boys and girls are doing the Tide Pod challenge and the condom snorting challenge, and why they're doing drugs at 10 years old, watching porn, is because of the lack of parenting in our families and the lack of father and authoritarian fathers in this family. The discipline is absent right now. So to think that they're now trying to push for more and saying, hey people, just in case you've had not enough discipline, let's just take away the discipline even more and tell you all how great it is. It's just sick. It's really sick, and I hope you guys can identify these kinds of stories for what they are, which is propaganda pieces to dismantle the family completely and castrate men from having any power, and of course, you know, lead to societal collapse. Look at the results. That's what I have to say. Look at the results of shitty parenting and having kids be in charge of parenting their own selves. They're the ones that are turning into little activists, little protesters at 12 years old, at 8 years old, holding up anti-white supremacy signs and doing all these terrible things. Wow. Yep. Too much exposure of her 3 times a day that year. Okay, let's move on to another topic in the news, because that was just, thanks CNN. So, here's something wonderful from the rabbi who discusses the cake decision, the cake shop decision. And of course, this Orthodox rabbi, this SCOTUS Masterpiece cake shop decision gives him pause. As a rabbi of an Orthodox Union affiliate, U.S. Orthodox Synagogue, I greeted the Supreme Court's ruling in the Masterpiece shop with a deep and painful ambivalence. Oh, let's see how you're ambivalent of this. Let's see. It is, without a doubt, vital for the religious freedoms of individuals to be firmly protected and articulated. Such protections are the bedrock of religious life. Now, let's cut through the BS and get to the good stuff. Yet, at the same time, the dignity, self-worth, and selam aloiham, I don't even know how to pronounce that, intrinsic godliness of every person, regardless of sexual orientation, must also be upheld and insisted upon continuously and vigorously. You know, I love how they're continuing to have these heads of churches that seem very respectable come out and speak out about these kinds of issues, because they're really wolves in sheep's clothing, right? Next, we're going to probably have the Pope come out and speak out about this decision and say how, hey, love is love. We need to love everyone. Just like those women we're talking about, those people from the Church of God were talking about at the Gay Pride Parade the other day, saying that God loves everyone. And people will look to them as authority figures. These are false prophets, though. Now, everyone believes that love is love, that God is love, but he is also a just God, and he's a fair God. And he does mean what he says in the Bible when he says, I made you all and I love you all. You are all my children. However, homosexuality isn't really what I designed you for. I did kind of create men and women to be helpmates with each other and to be married to each other and have sex with each other. That is why men have a penis, women have a vagina, and it goes in the vagina like a puzzle piece. That's kind of how he made us, and it's kind of a mockery and a sin to, blatantly say otherwise. But let's hear what this Orthodox rabbi has to say otherwise. Oh, within the U.S. Orthodox community, we have many gay congregants, members, friends, and family who are regularly subjected to painful and exclusionary actions and rhetoric. Many have been forced out of our shuls and schools. With this understanding, the Masterpiece ruling can be understood as yet another instance of gay people treated as less than humans, as not fully equal citizens. Now, this just really upsets me, because what if we, as a Jew, again, what if someone wanted to come to our bakery and say they wanted cakes with swastikas on it, because they were German Nazis? And do you think that this rabbi might turn them down because he wouldn't believe in their principles? Not because he was thinking that they're less than human, although he might be rightful so in saying that, but because maybe he just doesn't agree with having to bake a cake with swastikas on it at his own bakery. He should have the right to refuse that service. Why is this so difficult for people to understand this? Why? And it's sad, because this poor bakery went out of business, and it was a small Christian bakery. It's very sad. So, a couple other things that happening in the news today. Have you heard about Robert De Niro? Robert De Niro had some backlash. He wanted to just say, fuck Trump. That's all he wanted to do. Fuck Trump. I'm so cool. I get a standing ovation for saying F Trump. And instead, the next day, we find out in the news that he's actually been tied to child sex trafficking rings. Hey, I'm only the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, apparently, according to the news, Robert De Niro was a client of an international prostitution ring that hired underage children and specialized in providing prostitutes to wealthy, high-profile clients. They ensnared girls as young as 15. That's probably highballing it. forcing them to have sex with Hollywood's rich and powerful elite. Yeah, Robert De Niro, in your face. I think it's funny. So if you guys, want to research this more, there's actually a lot of news about this. 6 people are charged with running of an international prostitution ring whose call girls entertained the actor Robert De Niro and a couple other people. And this was a public arrest in Paris earlier this year, and his investigation is still in process. So wouldn't that be interesting? And karma, if there's him saying, F Trump, he's a soulless Adolf Hitler. It would be true karma, though, pure karma, if he actually got taken to jail for sex trafficking, don't you think? Let's check into the comments, because we haven't checked into the comments in a little while. Checking into the comments. And by the way, guys, remember, add me on Twitter at dating coach. Sorry, that was my old Twitter, at DeAnna Lorraine 7. DeAnna Lorraine 7. Make sure that you also add the New Right Network on Twitter and YouTube Live. That is New Right Network. And you know, this is Make Love Great Again. I'm on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time and 12 to 1 p.m. Trump time. Hey everyone who's in the house. Hello, Deanna. Pence was just speaking, or would have been in here earlier. Ooh, what was he saying? Maybe we should watch it live together. Robert is a child molester. Yes, he is. Apparently. I love all the news that's hot off the press. Let's just kind of see if there's anything interesting. Oh, and then we got to talk about the plan to split California into 3 different states. I am all for California being split up, but to be honest with you, I would be all for California seceding into its own country.
With that,
Who here would like to have California be its own country? Anyone? And everyone who just entered the Make Love Great Again family, hello, everyone. We've got Johnny Bronson in the house. I know, me too. I'm a big follower of QAnon, but I am waiting for one high-profile person to be arrested. Well, we did get Allison Mack and Keith Raniere. Those were some pretty big people, but we need more. It's over. He was addressing a church congregation. Oh, okay. Gotcha. If they secede, Trump will invade it. I mean, I think it'd be pretty funny if we built the wall around California. So we just give California to Mexico, basically. And I'm saying this as a native California. I'm saying this because California has sunk to the gutter. And I don't think we need California anymore. It's just bringing the whole country down. Right? It's bringing the whole country down. And it's gone to the gutter. It's a complete mess. We see it every single day. There's so many homeless people, so many people just shooting up in the streets. We've got gays running around. We have nothing wrong with gays, but parading around more so. And basically, unless you want to be under risk and all your friends, well, of course, I would just move out of California. I would probably move to Texas or Nashville or something. Pelosi is mentally ill. Can my sister join the contest? She is hot. Yeah, have her join Miss America contest, for sure. Tell her, send me your information. If all the social justice warriors stayed there, then yes, I'd be fine with California becoming its own country. At the same time, that makes me sad, but what else can be done unless something happens soon? Well, they're just taking all the money, all the taxpayer dollars. They're bringing in so many illegal immigrants. They're feeding and housing and giving medical and jobs to the illegal immigrants, and yet the crime is soaring in California, and it's going bankrupt. Not only financially bankrupt, but morally bankrupt. It is becoming a leftist utopian cesspool, absolutely. And it's sad because I used to love California, but it's just gone to the shitter. That's a complex topic. I won't make a decision now if I'm not convinced by the end of the show. Yeah. And in other news, want to see something gross? Thank you for the people that sent me this. Here's the kind of liberal lunacy that we need to get rid of. Male models walk the runway with fake pregnant bellies at Xander Zoo's show. So this disgusting designer, Xander Zoo, at London Fashion Week, men's featured male models wearing prosthetic baby bumps. Ah! I think I'm going to lose it. How much more of this can we take? Zoo's latest collection is called New World Baby. God, this is frightening. Frightening. Please tell me this is just a bad dream and I just have to wake up. No, it's real. It's real life. Look at this crapola. Oh my God. Why? This is now going to become fashionable. This is going to become the new... Look at this guy. He looks like a straight up zombie too. He's like dead in his eyes. I don't trust this one bit. This futuristic designer just sent men with fake pregnant bellies down the runway. The future has no gendered boundaries. Oh my gosh, this is sick. This is sick, you guys. Sick. Well, I guess now with artificial wombs coming out, you guys know about artificial wombs coming out, they claim by 2050 they will be coming out. And of course, this guy's wearing, again, contact lenses that look like he has no soul, or maybe he's Satan's spawn. Sorry. This is very likely to happen. Now, more transgenders will be probably having children and bringing children into the world, being a transgender mother or father or whatever the he/she version of that is. And we're going to start seeing some more of this. And they actually say that there's a possibility that now with men taking birth control, well, men will be starting to get pregnant as well. New World Baby. Yep. So this is now expanding to menswear. Thanks to designer Xander Zoo Fashion Week men's collection. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, I really hope nobody supports this, but this is about the filthiest of filth. We are literally living in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is it, right? I'm pretty sure this is what Sodom and Gomorrah is. I'm just kind of fearfully waiting for the day that this all gets burned down. And then, look at this. Digisexuality. This is likely to rise as sex robots become more popular. We talked about, and it's also in my book, that there is going to be a rise of sex robots. And they are going to start becoming more mainstream. Remember how quickly something goes from, it's just an idea, this probably won't happen, this is weird, to, okay, it's not so bad. More and more people are doing it. Celebrities are going to start coming out like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, within about a year's time, something that we never thought would be mainstream is all of a sudden mainstream and becoming popular opinion, and it's becoming normalized. So we've seen that with online dating. We've seen that with Tinder. You know, we've seen that with credit card chips. You know, they're also starting to chip in your wrist, you know, which is going to contain all your data. Please don't ever do that, though. That's really bad. You know, we can get in on that in a different subject, the, you know, microchipping humans, but for another topic. But what they're doing is trying to normalize sex with robots as just, you know, hey, it's just kind of like a step up from porn, virtual reality, no big deal. If you're lonely, if you're bored, why not get a sex robot? Just like a giant dildo. You know, now they're having sex robots for women as well. But, you know, it's going to be the real end of relationships and marriage and reproduction, and it's going to be the full collapse of society, because it will really truly mean that we have lost our need for each other. We will no longer need each other after sex robots become normalized. And now they're going to normalize, you know, and make it cool to talk about things like digisexuality. And how much do you also want to make a bet? Sorry, I love my predictions, but how much do you want to make a bet that they're going to add R to the LGBTQIA? Probably going to add R, which is going to mean robosexuality, robosexual attraction. They're already adding P for pedophilia, potentially, or minor sex attractions. So it's going to start becoming robo-sex attractions. And, you know, I really fear for the next 10 years, to be honest. I fear for it. What is this? You know, back to the pregnant boys that are walking down the runway and they're trying to make this a fad, trying to make this a cool thing. You know, this is a very real thing that transgenders will start having babies in the next 5 years. You know, we have yet to see that because transgenders has been such a new phenomenon. But they will start making it popular to have transgenders have babies. And could you imagine, you know, growing up with a transgendered mom or dad where a man's body is actually still nursing you, or a man's body has given birth to you? This is really scary because, you know, the one thing that we should be able to count on that is solid and stable is our parents' identity, right? Is the fact that our parents have solid and stable identities. And even when we have a straight heterosexual parent who's cisgender, but they are confused in themselves or they have some mental problems, that's definitely going to affect the child and how they're raised. So now imagine that times 10, because now they're not even a man or a woman, they're somewhere in between, and they have rationalized that that's okay in their head, and now they're raising a child and bringing a child into the world. It's very, very scary. And it's also scary, you know, when I was at the Gay Pride Parade the other day, talking to parents who brought their kids, and they were saying, #2moms, #2dads. It's so cool. And the kids are 5 years old, and they're growing into this kind of confused madness because their parents are themselves confused, and they don't have a proper model figure for a man, no proper figure for a woman. It's really scary that we are the generation that are now going to witness the growing up of these children. Let's see what happens. Last time my teddy bear was my friend. Let's go to the comments, by the way. My sisters are divided on analingus. Mom's all in. DeAnna, Star Wars, Solo has hinted to human to robot relations. Leave it to Hollywood again. It's going to happen, you guys. Make a bet. Some popular people in Hollywood, some popular celebrities are going to start having robots as girlfriends and boyfriends, and then everyone's going to start thinking it's so cool. You cannot fool Mother Nature. There will be intended consequences. Absolutely there will be. Always will be, John Gutgulls. Max Wilson, I still like to believe this stuff will always be physically impossible. It's all talk. Well, remember this. I always like to talk about this because it's disgusting. Sorry to traumatize you guys again. Research it, actually. They're saying that transgenders are going to start having... Because that's why a lot of women, they will choose to be a man and live and identify as a man, but they won't get rid of their reproductive organs. So they can technically then still have babies. Remember this? Chest feeding. Yeah, chest feeding. This is a man, and he is chest feeding. Now breastfeeding is turning into chest feeding. So don't say it's not possible, because just when we think it's not possible, it becomes possible. Well, if women don't start stepping up too and becoming a little more attractive and desirable and dateable to men, then yeah, sex robots are going to start becoming much more popular, much more fast. Hail Satan for life. Wow. Hail Satan for life. What a name. Does this conversation resonate with you at all, Hail Satan? Do you enjoy being in this group? I'm about to pray your Satan away. Lots of trolls out on Periscope wasting time in a great chat with a great show. Praying for them. Yes, in just a minute I'm going to close with the closing prayer, so let's all pray for them. They need it. Well, it shouldn't be possible. No, it should not be possible. Absolutely not. Oh, let's do one more quick story, and then we can wrap up here. Have you guys heard this? This is insane. The left has declared war on Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Apparently Chick-fil-A sandwiches are Homophobic. Couldn't get any weirder than that. In today's Huffington Post, Noah Michelson finally stood up to the scourge facing LGBT Americans: non-discriminatory chicken sandwiches. If you really love LGBT people, you just can't keep eating Chick-fil-A. Michelson makes the case that you must choose between your stomach and your love of gay rights. Why? Apparently, it was too much for me to take. Still, as delicious as the Georgia-based company's fried foods were, they weren't my only weakness as a kid. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, somehow, Chick-fil-A is homophobic because Chick-fil-A's president, Dan Cathy, came out as a homophobe in 2012 by claiming, "We are inviting God's judgment on our nation when we shake our fist at him and say, 'We know better than you as to what constitutes a marriage.'" What's wrong with that? It's a pretty fine statement. All he is saying, which sounds like he's a Christian guy, all he's saying is, why are we playing God? God already says that what constitutes a marriage should be a man and a woman. That was all he said. And he defended that. And of course, there's been a huge backlash from the crazy LGBTQIA communities saying that Chick-fil-A should be boycotted. And Chick-fil-A gives money to the Salvation Army and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. But these are the left's greatest monsters. And Mickelson says, along with other gay people, that if you care about queer people or yourself, you have absolutely no business eating at Chick-fil-A ever. It's that straightforward. Oh my God. This liberal lunacy needs to end. If we don't stand up for it, you can imagine that Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, IHOP, and all of our favorite restaurants are going to slowly become going down the tubes and become obsolete because they're going to find one Christian person who works in that whole restaurant or who owned a chain of them or who managed one at one point in their life who is Christian and shared Christian beliefs, and they're going to take the whole franchise down. We have become a fascist country, and these are the fascists, not us. But Jesus says Christians will be persecuted, and now we can see clearly the results of that. Very scary times we're living in when a Christian who works at a restaurant has a Christian view and they get torn down for it and boycotted. Excuse me, no one gets to tell me where I get to go or not to eat. Exactly. I hate when they always say, here's what you got. I hate when they say, here's how to think. Here's where to go. Here's what to do. I tell myself what to think, thank you. I'm a free thinker. And this is why I don't really even call myself a conservative. I don't call myself a Republican. Certainly not these days. I'm just a free thinker. I think for myself. And my views that I think for myself tend to fall into the conservative view box. Hail Satan for Life says, no more Christians at fast food? Sign me up. Yeah, of course, Hail Satan for Life would say that. Okay, guys, with that, sounds like a perfect time to have the closing prayer. All right? Let's say the closing prayer because clearly some people desperately need it. Time to pray the evil away, guys. Thank you for joining me on my show today, Make Love Great Again. I'm on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the New Right Network. Make sure you do add the New Right Network on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitter. Make sure you also add me on Twitter at DeAnna Lorraine 7 and on my own YouTube channel, DeAnna Lorraine 7, because I take these videos, edit them, and upload them to my own channel later on during the day. Dear Lord, I pray that more women and men see the light and can open their hearts to love instead of hate, can open their hearts to unity rather than divisiveness, can open their minds to truth rather than lies. I pray for love and protection for a great President Trump and his family and all those working for us, that they remain safe and resilient in the face of so many forces working against them. I pray for all of you and the truth warriors of the world who are courageously speaking the truth and boldly working to bring those who are in the darkness over to the light. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggles is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in heavenly places. I pray that all of you find true and lasting love, and that God puts an incredible partner in your life to be with you during this journey. And I pray that he gives you the beautiful family, joy, and all the blessings that you deserve. And lastly, we know that good conquers evil, that love conquers hate, and I pray that together with God's help and grace, we are able to make our country and our world great again. Amen. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and I hope I was hearing some screeches and squealing over there in the chat room as I'm praying. Hopefully there was a cleansing going on. Okay, guys, you're amazing, and I will see you bright and early on Friday morning. Bye. Love you.